I watched that movie Presence, and I liked it. This is not exactly your typical haunted house film. The story is solid, if not pretty good, and the characters are very fascinating, but what sets this apart from your run-of-the-mill ghost story is the way that it's presented. The entire film is actually shot through the POV of this presence living in a family's house, almost in a first-person poltergeist sort of way. I'm not saying the story isn't good enough to hold itself up on its own, because it is, but this adds an extra level of intrigue for me. Putting the viewer as an unseen, unheard spectator is probably the closest we're gonna get to watching an actually good movie in VR or something right now. A good majority of the scenes here are this entity observing the family and their struggles, watching their feelings unfold and spying on their private moments. Despite what this may sound like, it's never boring, and stuff gets increasingly more intense. Steven Soderbergh chose to film this nearly chronologically to have his experience learning how to operate the camera as the presence mirror its gradual discovery of how to navigate the house. He also made sure to wear nylon slippers so that the footsteps of the presence would not be heard or confused with the movements of the actual human beings. The music adds a fair bit of drama and weight where it's almost too much at certain points, but they reel it in when necessary. Unfortunately, while I very much enjoyed the ride, this is one of those instances where I loved watching it in the moment, but it actually kind of gets worse the more I sit with it and think about what happened. I have to spoil the movie to talk about what I did not like, so if you want to skip that, here's your chance. 3, 2, 1. We learn slowly that the presence can interact with its environment. It could knock stuff over and break things. We see it throw down the shelf in the closet to stop Chloe and Ryan from kissing, which understandably startles them. In a later interaction, we see Ryan spike Chloe's drink with something suspicious. The presence knocks the glass off the table before Chloe can have it, thus saving her life. So it's confirmed that it's capable of interfering with stuff. My frustration enters during the film's climax, where it just stands there for the most part, while Ryan poisons and tries to kill Chloe. Why aren't you fucking trashing the room like we saw you do earlier? It seems to be its most calm and observant during this moment, which kind of bugs me. It eventually does run downstairs to wake Tyler up, but that's fairly late in the process. You could have saved everyone way before that point. I would have been going apeshit. And you can't be mad at me for pointing this out, because I'm just going off of what the film has taught me about itself. Also, I can appreciate how quickly the family comes to the realization that there's a ghost in their house. The way they go from, "Oh, you're crazy," to, "Alright, this house is fucking haunted," is kind of abrupt for me, but again, I appreciate a movie that throws a change up. The characters that are often in these types of films are very stupid. It's almost like it's the last thing they would have considered. It's clearly a ghost here. Let's accept that. We saw it move things around. My issue is how they kind of just become cool with it. Like they just forget about the room destroying incident. I'm sorry, I'd always feel uneasy in this house after that. I definitely would not leave both of my kids while we go on a business trip to work out our marriage. The last thing that bothers me is how exactly the timeline of events happened. Like, I know we're told that time is being experienced by the presence non-linearly, but what happened where it needs to come back to resolve whatever unfinished business it has? This is something the medium lady hinted at. There's no version of events where you could also save your own life, maybe? Maybe one that I mentioned earlier? I don't know. The whole story concept of going back in time to fix the past has always been an issue of mine. I just don't often see how the logistics would work. Again, the more I think about it, the less sense it makes. I'm probably just willing to accept whatever explanation someone who really loves this film would give me. Anyways, yeah, I'd check this out, just because it's an interesting story told in an interesting way. It's not really a horror film, it's more of a psychological drama or thriller, but that's not to say it isn't impactful or even disturbing on the emotional level. Shout out to Neon for continuing to pick up some impressive movies recently. They just had another film win the Palme d'Or. I really want to give this an 8, but it's more like a 7 if I'm being honest with myself. It's a high 7 though. don't skip out on this. It's on the shorter side at only an hour 25 too, so you could knock this out on a night where it feels like you could squeeze a good little something in, you know? Tell me what you think.